morning, PotCoins. Today is Sunday, 7 June 2015. We are currently on block 827191 of the Pot chain. Here's what's been going on this week. The PotCoin promo video is out. It's basically the same as the Bitcoin video that came out explaining the basics to people that have never heard of it. Short, simple, and to the point. Here's the video.
What is PotCoin? PotCoin is the first decentralized currency for the legal marijuana industry. PotCoins are digital coins you can send through the internet. PotCoins have a number of advantages. PotCoins are transferred directly from person to person via the net. And this means that the fees are much lower, and you can use them in every country. Your account cannot be frozen, and there are no prerequisites or arbitrary limits. Let's look at how it works. Your PotCoins are kept in your digital wallet on your computer or mobile device. Sending PotCoins is as simple as sending an email, and you can purchase anything with PotCoin. The PotCoin network is secured by thousands of computers using state-of-the-art encryption. Anyone can join the PotCoin network, and the software is completely open source, so anyone can review the code. PotCoin opens up a whole new platform for innovation. PotCoin is changing finance the same way the web changed publishing. When everyone has access to a global market, great ideas flourish.
In other news, Pot Labs claims the old web wallet is working, and that if you have any coins in there, get them out as soon as possible, since it will not be maintained or sustained by them, and will be permanently offline within a few weeks. I tried to send out my coins last month and the transaction got stuck. The transaction ID was never broadcast to the network, but the old web wallet still thinks that it was a valid transaction. If you have coins in there, try sending one PotCoin to see if it works before you attempt to transfer your whole balance. Hopefully others will be more successful than I was in getting coins out of the old web wallet. The blockchain still shows the coins are in the original address. There might be some way to get those private keys and sweep them into the Qt client or Electrum, or maybe rebroadcast the transaction ID again. I really don't know enough about it, but I am looking forward to getting past this wallet issue. Pot Labs has been doing a great job taking over PotCoin, and it shows a lot of dedication to the coin for them to attempt to solve problems they didn't create for the good of the community. Colorado is repealing taxes on pot for one day only. In a few months, on 16 September, there will be no taxes on pot. This affects recreational sales and also the grower to dispensary sales. I tried to understand the principle behind this event, and I spent a few hours reading about it. And in the end, the more I read, the less I understood. Apparently it goes back to something that was approved by voters in 1992, and it's about limiting the state's revenue growth. It actually doesn't have anything to do with pot specifically. It's more about the state growing more than the economy or something. I really wanted to present this in a way that sounded like I knew what I was talking about, but all I really got out of it was tax-free pot on 16 September. It is entirely possible that I'm too dumb to understand tax law, but I feel like it's more likely that tax law is purposely complicated to prevent as many people as possible from understanding it. At first, I supported legalization and taxing pot. I thought it was the only way to fool our masters into letting us smoke by appealing to their greed. Maybe it was the only way, but now that they've given us an inch, we should take a mile, High City. Fuck taxes and licenses and badges and packing requirements and all the rest of the bullshit the state has imposed. Legalization was supposed to curb the black market, but it seems like it's encouraging it by making out-of-state exports more profitable. Grow facilities and dispensaries, and even down to the consumer, are being forced to pay for the state to make things more difficult. The more legal it gets, the more the state has control, and all the state wants is for everyone to pay more. So while it seems like a good thing to have a day of tax-free pot, it seems like a better thing to have tax-free everything all the time. Support your local home growers instead of the state. Support the black market, also known as the free market, instead of the crony capitalism sanctioned by the state that they try to pass off as some sickly perverted form of a free market. The state estimates they'll lose about $100,000 in taxes from just that one day. I think we can make it much more. If you're a regular dispensary shopper, save up and buy as much as you can on that day. If you're an out-of-towner, plan a trip to be here for the 16th of September. And grow ops already know to do their largest transactions on that day. Let's keep as much as we can in our own pockets and away from the state. Free market champion Dotcom gains a minor victory over the US. He's been fighting legal battles for a few years now over his site Mega Upload. Dotcom has never been to the US, but that hasn't stopped the US from hating on him. A few months ago, a corrupt piece of shit judge in the US, Liam O'Grady, ordered a default judgment to steal $67 million worth of assets from Dotcom, claiming some bullshit civil action and some other bullshit about fugitive disentitlement. They stole his bank accounts, cars, boats, jet skis, works of art, appliances, and more without any due process. A few days ago, Dotcom was given interim relief from having the order recognized by his home country of New Zealand. New Zealand had their sights set on his stuff too. The Commissioner of Police wanted to register the forfeitures locally, meaning they would be property of the Crown. But as it turns out, fugitive disentitlement doctrine forms no part of New Zealand common law. One of his lawyers said, "We are grateful that the New Zealand court ruled in favor of fairness, natural justice, and due process by stopping U.S. efforts to take Dotcom's New Zealand assets for doing nothing more than opposing extradition to the U.S., a country he's never been to. Now that Dotcom has access to his funds again, he can afford more lawyers to make the U.S. look bad." BTC China doesn't want 20 megabyte blocks. They think that's too big right now. Mikhail Wang, Director of Engineering at BTC China, said, "An increase in block size to 20 megabytes would increase operating costs for miners and likely negatively impact the block orphan rate. Higher costs would be propagated to miners, and then we may face a scenario where miners cannot run their operations profitably, causing some miners to cease operations. Fewer miners would lead to a decrease in the hash rate, thereby increasing the risk of 51% attack on the network." He also said, "A very large block size would be problematic for miners because of the network bandwidth between China, where the majority of mining is done, and the rest of the world is heavily restricted. Important proposals like these need to factor in all of the nuances of the global landscape." By nuances, he means communist control over bandwidth. BTC China agrees that the block size needs to increase, but they think that 4 megabytes is much more reasonable at this time. If the block size issue isn't solved soon, Bitcoin might lose its spot at the top of the crypto world. And while the concept of cryptocurrencies will survive, it will be a major setback to mainstream adoption. That's it for this edition of Mad PotCoins. Smoke 'em if you got 'em.